The following announcement is paid for by the Wrestling with Nerds.
From Mordor to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.
Hey there, the name's Nukem, Duke Nukem, and you're watching the Nerds Doing Nerd Things podcast. For some unknown reason, enjoy.
All I need is
Gotta wait for Ryan to get back.
all I need is like a popsicle stick.
Are you sure?
Oh,
Oh God, you could be mini hacks.
oh,
Is it better on this side? Because they don't want to show up there. Okay, apparently it is better on this side. What the fuck?
just give me some word life, thugonomics.
Well, what's going on, nerds? And welcome to this week's episode of the Wrestling with Nerds podcast. I'm Ajak Pohl, and first off, we're gonna say hi to TJ, Mr. Mini Belt.
That's right. Yep. It's not about the size. It's just about the style, baby.
Not where I thought he was going with that. I'm happy he went there with that. Very happy. Keeping it more of a PG fucking show. But Ryan Fry, the wrestling guru, that is one sexy United States Heavyweight Championship belt. And where does it come from? What era is it? And who was the last person to wear it?
Well, this one is the WCW. This is the last version of the WCW United States title. This is like number 2 on my list of favorite championship belts.
I will
love
go correct you from that game we had. It better be number 2.
I'm pretty sure it's number 2 for me. But I don't like this version. This version is the 3-plate. The version I love is the 5-plate, which was the early rendition of this title. Rick Rude, Dustin Rhodes, Sting. I think Stone Cold had it as Stunning Steve, and that would mean Duggan had it as well. It was originally 4 plates and 1 big plate, but the big plate was smaller. That's what I liked about it. It had a unique feel to it.
Oh,
And then they went to this version because it was a bigger center plate. Kind of has the shape of the Intercontinental title, except for the top part where WCW logo is.
Yeah.
But this is my favorite champion, one of my favorite championships of all time. And the last person to get this belt, we will talk about tonight.
dare I say that belt was defended on this show we are covering?
This show here we're covering is the last time you see the WCW United States Heavyweight Championship.
Man, I was just trying to segue into that, but let's start with the 2001 Survivor Series winner take all. Ryan, before we continue,
failed like Paul Blart, my guy.
Ryan, help me out here. Go into your Zoom settings and make sure this isn't your microphone, because I'm pretty sure this is your microphone right now.
It may have been because it just changed. It was had you guys.
Hey, you guys are seeing the behind the scenes of the Wrestling with Nerds. Sometimes computers want to do whatever the fuck they want.
I'm behind a scene.
I mean, I could be. I could jump up like Rey Mysterio.
Is that better?
That is 100% better.
God, who are you and why are you so loud?
Sorry, my headset or my earbuds when I went to grab this, it started like you were 4 people talking at one time, and I reverted, but it went back to it. Sorry about that.
So, November 18th, 2001 from Greensboro, North Carolina, the Greensboro Coliseum Complex. 13,142 people attended this Survivor Series, but a buy rate of 450,000.
Yeah, and it's interesting to think about this. This pay-per-view is in Greensboro, North Carolina. That is WCW stomping ground. They would do Greensboro on Thanksgiving every year for like 15, 20 years. And to have the winner take all Survivor Series match there just makes it more of just Vince twisting the knife. Like, haha.
But
Hey, shit happens.
But before we talk about the meaning of, them doing it in Greensboro, this is the highest buy rate for Survivor Series for the past 4 years before this. 2000, 99, and 98.
Because it wasn't Survivor Series. I don't like. You have to think. I think 97 is the screw job.
Yeah.
I think between 97 and now, we didn't get any Survivor Series matches. None. I'm pretty sure off the top of my head, there's none.
Dude, I bet the farm that you're right. That's why we call you the wrestling guru.
I mean, their pay-per-view. I mean, you had the tournament in 98 with the Rock tournament, which should have been huge, but evidently wasn't. But that was just screw jobs. I was just more screw jobs after more screw jobs for that pay-per-view. And then you had the next two probably fell off the cliff big time because there was no WCW was failing. So I mean,
98 is 400,000. 99 right around 400,000 from the Joe Louis Arena. 2000 legit 400,000. And that's from Tampa, Florida Ice Palace. And in 2001, it's what we're talking about now. Survivor Series, Greensboro, North Carolina at 450,000.
it's not really a fall off.
No, but this was more.
Which this piqued the interest of everybody. Everybody wanted to see who was gonna win and what were they gonna do. I think everybody had a feeling going in. Vince isn't gonna let his company die.
I don't think he would let it die, but holy shit, can you fucking imagine?
But like, it was one of those things where every wrestling fan dreamed about it forever. And then when it happened, it was like a wet noodle. It just didn't pay off.
No, and I think a lot of it, which we'll talk to as we get later on into it, but I think it didn't pay off because all the big names stayed home and got paid.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the things that was confusing to a lot of people for a lot of years was, Hogan and Nash and Hall and Goldberg and I think even DDP, and Steiner at that time was hot, and so was Booker. Well, Booker came along,
Sting.
but Booker wasn't on a Turner deal.
No Sting.
Sting was also on a non-Turner deal, but they were on Turner deals, not WCW deals, which meant their money come from Turner Broadcasting Corporation, not WCW as its own company. So I don't blame them one bit for sitting at home and collecting their $1 million paychecks to do absolutely nothing.
Oh, I don't blame him at all. But as a wrestling fan, and Ryan, we've talked, this is my favorite Survivor Series. Hence why we're doing it. The opportunity, if those wrestlers came over, this main event could have been gold.
Not even all of them, just maybe two.
And who
give me? I mean, look at that. Look behind TJ and give me one noticeable, besides Booker T, one noticeable WCW guy on that team.
Just Booker.
That's it.
Everybody else there's only one. Yeah, there's only one WCW guy on that team.
Exactly.
The other one's an ECW, and the other three are WWE.
You can say Stone Cold, but Stone Cold hated WCW for his time there and was ready to come to WWE. there's not one headline guy on that WCW team, in my opinion, that would have made me think WCW was going to win.
If anything, look over TJ's other shoulder, Lionheart.
Yeah, but Jericho's the same way as Stone Cold. He wasn't happy in WCW because the ceiling was too low for him.
Yeah.
Big Show, as popular as Big Show was as the Giant in WCW, held the world title twice. He didn't like being in WCW because of the politics.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this may be winner takes all, blah, 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 but that's all WWE guys right there.
All right, so let's get right into it because I feel like we're going to talk about this a fucking lot at the end. But let's get into it. First match of the night, it is for the Euro Championship. It's Christian and Al Snow. TJ, you do such a great job.
Do we abbreviate words now? What the fuck is a Euro?
Well, it's the European Championship. I just was trying to shorten notes.
He did abbreviate it, and I verbatim, right there. Blame TJ, not me. Fuck you. There was an altercation on MTV Heat that set up the match, but shit, it was an okay match in my opinion. Kind of knew how it was gonna go.
It was a good kickoff match. It got the night going.
Yeah,
A little bit of entertainment.
I guess, you know, outside of the shit running around the ring in the minute, Al Snow jumps in the ring, Christian kicks him basically in the face, and then unpretties him in the center of the ring for the pin.
And
Yeah,
I think
mean, nothing to
what
take
shouldn't-
away from either. Nothing to take away from either one of them, but the European title is kind of the redheaded stepchild of this whole merger invasion deal. Everybody kind of forgets about the European Championship at this point.
And I know there's a certain thing TJ wants to bring up here. It's literally the last two lines of this.
It is. I think the importance of this match shouldn't be lost of where these guys are now. Christian is a champion on AEW, involved in I think one of the main storylines over there, and Al Snow is running. Fry, correct me if I'm wrong. OVW.
Yeah,
Or
he co-owns and runs it, and since the Netflix special, that place has launched where I think they've sold out like the last 9 shows in a row. So that's pretty impressive for a little independent company in Louisville, Kentucky. I mean, AEW went down there and offered them a buy one, get one free for their show. OVW sells their tickets out every time.
Shit.
And it should be noted, Christian, a member of the Alliance, won the match. If you're keeping score at home,
Which I thought that would have been cool to do if this side wins this match.
You
1 point.
you missed.
point.
They did that the month before at Invasion.
Okay.
Or when this whole thing started, they had a pay-per-view Invasion, and it was kind of like the announcers kept track on who won this many matches, who won that many matches.
So TJ, I'm actually gonna throw you the reins because you wrote this bitch,
I
and
did.
I don't want to hinder on the abbreviations of me actually reading verbatim. Here-
Don't hinder gender.
And no, he does it himself. Don't worry about it.
So we flip from the match into our first backstage segment of the night, and it is the Alliance members, and the $1 Billion Princess is losing her batshit and is freaked out that Stone Cold, after what had happened, I believe on the SmackDown prior or whatever it was, that he was going to backstab them, and Stone Cold's like, "No, I'm not going to." Like, Shane's pissed off. Kurt, there is an underlying theme to this pay-per-view all night long. And it is Vince McMahon has a 6th member on his team that nobody knows about. And if you watch the pay-per-view and you're looking for it and you're paying attention, it is right there in front of your face all night. It's Kurt. We know that now. But it is literally, they're in this backstage segment, and Kurt's like, maybe I should be the leader. Like, out of the blue. Like, we're talking leadership here? Why are we, this isn't even a conversation. And Kurt's like, I should be the leader, you know, like, he's just acting straight. He's acting Kurt, which is strange. So it's just kind of a whole big thing of like, oh, Stone Cold's going to backstab us. They play this theme off the rest of the night that he's Everybody's worried about Stone Cold and what he's going to do, and he's going to backstab him. And come to find out, he's the best goddamn thing they have on that team, and it just doesn't work out for him.
No.
Really.
Just sidetracking here. The video packages for this pay-per-view are fucking phenomenal. To open the show, like I know we're imagining everything, but to open the show, they literally did a legacy of WWF. That gave me goosebumps. That was cool. That made me actually think, because if you've ever watched any movie or any TV show, if you get backstory, you die.
Typically.
And also with Heyman on commentary,
So good.
it's so
He
good.
might go down.
Him,
He might go down as my favorite commentary person ever.
him and JR back and forth, how fuck you, no, fuck you, no, fuck
Dude, they were like, there were moments of this show where like they shouldn't have been on TV. Like, you would get canceled with what they said on some of the moments of this show tonight. I make mention of it a few times. It's bad.
Yeah. Heyman's made mention of it during interviews and stuff that he was legitimately trying to piss Jim Ross off with every comment he could say.
Well, I would say it absolutely fucking worked. And it was gold all night. TJ?
I want to ask a question, and it's always been a question of mine when it comes to this pay-per-view. This is 2001. This is the end of 2001. There's a notable main star missing from this whole pay-per-view because he's gone all year long.
Triple H.
Am I the only one that feels like Stone Cold filled Triple H's shoes for this whole angle, where this should have been Stephanie, Shane, and Hunter,
And Hunter, yeah.
against Vince? And
Hold on.
they just
Time out. I would take Triple H and put him in Kurt's spot, but still make Triple H the leader. I would still have Stone Cold.
no.
That's how much he hates Vince.
I don't think you.
I think it would have been if you take Hunter and put him in Stone Cold's spot, and put Stone Cold in Angle's spot.
Don't forget here, AJ. Stone Cold and Linda were tight, and Linda was on Team WWE. Like, Linda's very much involved in the story as Vince is, and Stone Cold and Linda always seem to be on the same page.
I always felt like this pay-per-view, while it's memorable for the main event, it's not very memorable for anything else.
One other match I would say is very memorable.
I would say I always thought this whole pay-per-view was a year too early.
And Fry, you mentioned that you actually kind of stole my thought there with the Triple H thing, because I kind of wondered where he was. But like, they could have played the swerve so much with this match. I mean, you like AJ mentioned it. Big Show and Jericho are over here, and Jericho does kind of play a factor late. But those, like, the people turning on each other in this match could have been way higher, the rate of it.
So we're starting. You want to start the Big Show? I'm a heel. I'm a good guy. Turn flip every Monday into Friday. 4 or 5 years too early.
I'm just saying it. It could have.
I just feel like there's so many what ifs for this whole pay-per-view as a card because of injuries and contracts that theoretically this whole thing could have went a whole nother year. You could have gave WCW and the Alliance SmackDown and ran Raw as the WWE show for a full year after this, introducing those guys that ended up off their contracts. And I know we're getting sidetracked from the card, but
That's fine.
honestly,
It's worth mentioning.
From here to maybe after the tag match and then the Survivor Series match, that's about it for me. I feel like if this would have went another year and they would have given, like I said, give the Alliance SmackDown, give Raw to the WWE. It's basically the brand split before the brand split.
And I'd even wonder if would they redo it now, knowing how fruitful it could have been. That'd be a question I'd love to know the answer to. I
think so, but they don't talk about old shit. You know what I mean?
Wait, time out. Can we just wait 5 years?
What, when AEW gets sold?
Yeah. We just wait 5 years?
But I mean, think about it. If you put them two separate shows and they only come together at the big four, it's theoretically the brand split all over again.
Yeah.
You keep Steph and
Hold on, but do you keep the
Shane.
name SmackDown? Do you keep the name SmackDown, or do they do Friday Night Nitro or Thursday Night Nitro
I mean,
or Thunder, whatever the second show was?
that part would be logistics for them because that's a whole marketing thing that they'd have to figure out. But if you brand one show as WWF Monday Night Raw and WCW Thunder if it's on Thursday night, I mean, you could theoretically could have them. It's 15 and 15 for the Royal Rumble for a shot at the world title. Then there's WrestleMania. Then you get the SummerSlam and you have your repayoffs, your Survivor Series. It's Alliance versus WWE like this. It's just not winner takes all.
Mhm.
It could be interesting.
Yeah,
certainly
I-
floats a very good story another year
but
that easily
I-
could have went another year.
I so feel like this one was sped up for so many reasons, and I don't think it was for any good reasons. I mean, Hunter's out. There's no big name WCW guys. Now, granted, I mean, we get what in 2 months? Well, this is November, December, January, February. We get Hulk Hogan, Kevin Nash, and Scott Hall. The NWO show up at No Way Out because Vince is going to kill his. If he's going to kill it, he's going to kill it with the biggest virus there is. And he brings in the NWO. You already have, I believe DDP is in the Battle Royal. You've already had him show up and he stalked Undertaker's girlfriend or wife.
I
and
thought
he's
that was
not,
stupid.
And he's not even in this match. This is winner take all for WCW, and Diamond Dallas Page isn't one of those members. It's overrushed for me. And that's kind of why I'm a negative on this pay-per-view. I love Survivor Series, but for me, this one is a total thumbs down.
Well,
I didn't care for it.
The biggest issue I have with this match, the biggest issue,
Oh, can we get to the big match? But let's go through the card.
I'm just gonna point here. And
Why?
we can go on.
I am fully
Oh,
happy with him.
We can literally run through the card quick because Regal and Tajiri, yeah, they're both underrated as workers. Highly underrated, both of them. If you don't think Tajiri is underrated, go watch his ECW and his early WWF stuff. Criminally underrated. And William Regal's William Regal. Everybody loves William Regal.
And why was Tajiri not an Alliance member?
Because I think they did that whole story for that. And these two were together, and then Regal went to the Alliance, and Tajiri didn't because WWE gave him his break. And he's got Tori with him. God damn it. Another person with Tori. What the? Stop messing with my chick.
How about Test and Stacy?
Well, that's not till later on.
That was also very cringe.
That was the beginning, I think, the feelers of Test and Stacy.
Yeah. I mean,
she was still with the Dudleys. She actually makes a big moment in that tag match later.
yeah, I mean, Regal and Tajiri, great matchup. Non-title, of course, because Regal's not a cruiserweight. Regal gets the win, I believe.
Yes, bloodied. He's like bleeding.
Oh, Regal bleeding means it was a good match. He always bled when it was a good match.
It was a lot, and I kind of felt like that match was cut short for some reason. It just ended abruptly.
Well, they had to get in the post match because he attacks Tori again and Tajiri. They had to they had to figure out a way to throw Tori back out there and get beat up again.
Then next is Test representing the Alliance as the Intercontinental Champion versus Edge, who's this champion right here, WCW United States Champion. Beautiful belt. I mean, it's two Canadians fighting for a U.S. title. What sense does that make?
Or Intercontinental title, depending on who won
Got
at the
nothing
end
on
of the
that one.
night.
They should have just renamed this the United Continental Championship.
Yeah,
Just kidding.
and I mean,
Just kidding.
at
Just
the time,
kidding.
two mid-card guys who end up becoming way bigger than mid-card guys.
Well, one does.
Well, the other one kind of, you know.
Shit. Yeah, but that's 10 years after this.
Did he fail?
still-
I think he failed. Test failed.
Yes.
Test failed.
Yes.
Yeah,
We're just gonna go with it.
He got an F.
But it's a great
think-
match. I mean, Test
Unmoving.
at this time is probably the hottest mid card guy on WWF. He was the European champion at WrestleMania, losing to Eddie. I mean, he's working with all these guys on the mid card level, and he's a big giant guy. I just feel like, and I've said it before, he was missing that little bit to get him over the top.
Charisma. The man had
Charisma-wise.
no fucking charisma.
Yeah, I didn't think he was a great talker. I really don't.
No. Or hey Steph, you want to go out for dinner? I mean, come on, it's boring. I mean, we had to give him the gimmick testicles to get a pop.
I mean,
Granted.
look what we did for Kurt.
So that match ends. Edge wins. Good match.
We say goodbye.
US
We say
the U-
goodbye to this, maybe.
Yeah, whoever wins
Or-
at the end of the night is going to hold whatever belt. We get another backstage segment. Steph is still freaking out that she's going to have to get a real job. Kurt is there and calming her and reassuring her. And Kurt guarantees, I got to say this because it plays in it later. Kurt guarantees Stone Cold won't be the one to screw the Alliance. It's right in front of your fucking face. Nobody sees it.
Ryan, did you see this live?
On pay-per-view? Yes.
Yes. Okay. Did you have any inkling of who that sixth member was?
Oh, yes. I knew the moment he turned on Raw at SmackDown. Or Raw, whichever one it was. When he turned on them, I knew he was already Vince's made man, so I knew he was already the one turning.
Oh, okay.
Well, in
Yeah, it
what
was-
world is Kurt on the Alliance anyway?
I mean, look what he
Like-
did 4 or 5 years later with ECW.
I just don't.
Yeah, but
in
that
what-
was Perk. That was
This Perk angle, not
angle.
I will just never understand why Kurt is on that team at all. Why would they trust Kurt? Like, I don't get it. Kurt got his break, and Kurt wouldn't be a thing without WWE. Why is he on the Alliance?
Technically, it was WCW is what turned him off, or ECW is what turned him away from wrestling at first, because he went there first after the Olympics and watched their show, and that's when they crucified Tommy Dreamer on the ropes, and he's like, "Yeah, I don't want any parts of this."
Oh, where they were beating him senseless with
Well,
the
yeah,
kendo stick.
They literally crucified him on the ropes. Raven and them guys did that to him, and wholesome Kurt Angle's like, "Nah, I don't want none of that."
TJ,
I just,
continue.
I'll never understand Kurt and the Alliance. We get another backstage segment. This one was kind of fun because of who's involved. Lita's freaking out with Jeff that Matt's like being weird. Matt comes out with a belt with no paint on it. Fry, can you anything on that? Why? What?
From what I've gathered, and I hit up his name's Hazard F5 on Twitter and on Facebook. He's a belt nerd like me, but he's more in depth of a belt nerd.
Mhm.
He had recently did a video on this. Apparently, this belt was a new belt that had not gotten fully painted yet, and
Oops.
at that time they didn't have replicas to go buy from the shop to throw on, or a spare set of belts for whatever reason. So yeah, I mean, he was wearing basically what your action figures wore for years. It was the WWF tag belt without any color on it.
The whole point of the segment is Matt's acting weird, Lita's concerned, and then after the Hardys leave, Lita goes to go in the locker room and Trish comes out. And I believe they're implying that Matt's cheating on her. Like, that's the thing of it. And she's like, what? Huh?
But if you look, it says WWF locker room.
Right.
It
I don't
doesn't
know.
say like it would be more thought process.
Said
if
men's
if it just said Hardy's dressing room.
something. Yeah. It just,
So-
it was odd. Needless to say, that's like the whole thing of it. Then this was a fun match with a cool kind of thing to it. It was a cage match for the tag belts. A pin in the ring ends the match, or both members must escape to win.
These rules are so stupid.
I don't like the pin to end the match, a single pin. I do like both members having to escape. That's kind of cool.
Mm.
That part of it I like. But the match itself is good. It's a cage match with the Hardys and the Dudley Boys. It was gruesome. It was brutal. They beat the hell out of each other inside the cage. The Dudleys sold moves from the Hardys like the Hardys were fucking the NWO giant men, even though they're little guys. The end of the match it fucking is just stupid. This is the dumbest fucking thing on the card.
That's why I hate the finish.
What?
That's why I hate the rules to this match. It's so stupid.
Well, no. What the fuck is Jeff thinking?
It's
Okay.
Jeff Hardy. Come on now.
Okay, but
You're thinking somebody with sense?
The best part of this match, though, was definitely watching Stacy seduce the ref. That was fucking gold. I love
Let's
Stacy
not-
Keebler.
Let's not lose fact that Matt left his brother in the ring.
Yeah. But again, Matt is standing outside the ring with Jeff on top of the fucking thing. Going, Jeff, come on, we've won. Get the fuck out. What are you doing? Don't be a dumbass.
All about the high spot, baby. Whether it's pills, whether it's pills or jumping off cages, it's all about the high spot, baby.
Like watching this and seeing it, I literally said to myself, this is fucking stupid.
I would love to know who the agent for this show, this match was,
Like,
and who thought that would have been smart. Because that was
Why do I feel like Jeff did?
No, I mean they had to have an agent. This isn't AEW. The inmates don't run the asylum in WWE.
I don't even understand. Like, it's the dumbest thing. Jeff goes for a swanton that means absolutely nothing to the match to Devon on a table in the fucking thing. And rightfully so, he gets what he deserves. He folds up in that fucking table with no Devon there, like the dumbass he is, and gets fucking pinned and then stretchered out of the arena. Hopefully straight to fucking rehab for being the biggest drunk dumbass I've ever seen in my life. Rant
I
over.
agree. I hate
Rant over.
It was
I
a
hate this match.
I thought it was a good match until that.
Oh, the finish killed the match.
Yeah.
It was a great match. The finish was just so fucking dumb. So fucking dumb.
Next,
I did note that was just the first hour. All of that was the first hour. It's a fuck of a first hour. We next pop to their stupid WWF and Times Square shit where Foley's hanging out on Vince's orders. Foley's mad he's not at the ring. I don't know the story that continues with this. It's just weird. Fry, can you give me a little, just the quick synopsis?
It's another one of those spots to get Mick on TV to get a paycheck without having to wrestle. He's being the commissioner. He's the commissioner of WWF. Regal's the commissioner of the Alliance. Vince orders him not to be at the show, which is kind of stupid because if you're the commissioner, why are you taking orders from people? Never quite understood that part.
And why are you in New York while they're in Greensboro? Like,
yeah, it's just. I think it turns around like after this is all over with. Regal ends up being the commissioner again because he kisses Vince's ass, and Foley's out the door again. This is the time where Foley's getting ready to leave again. It's Christmas time, so it's time for him to go be Toothless Claws or whatever the hell he is.
They cut away to that, to a backstage segment where Scotty 2 Hotty's getting ready to go to the Battle Royal. And Test is like, hey, you're in that Battle Royal, right? And Scotty 2 Hotty's like, yeah, I am. And Test is like, yeah, not anymore. You're dead. I'm in. You're out. Now we go to the Battle Royal.
Which is kind of stupid, because why couldn't just Test go to the Battle Royal? If it's supposed to be an immunity Battle Royal where everybody's jobs are on the line, just walk out to the ring and be in the Battle Royal.
Considering the match had started and all of a sudden Taz just entered.
Yeah. And so did Bill DeMott and Chavo. But what was the point of the whole backstage segment for him to beat up Scotty 2 Hotty? Was it for so Scotty didn't have to have the night to work or something? Again, bad booking.
Am I the only one that thinks, okay, if those guys could enter after it started, why can't I just enter after there's like 5 guys left?
Kind of sounds like a superstar
And,
scramble
and
a little bit.
it kind of set it up perfectly. Once he took out Scotty, it kind of ruined the whole battle royal because everybody knew that Test was going to win that.
Although I did like the final 5 was fun, but yes, I agree.
I mean,
There's a lot of mid-card talent in this match. A lot of mid-card talent. I made some notable eliminations. Obviously, I mentioned Taz entering, and it freaks Heyman the fuck out because they had tossed him off of the team, which still to this day doesn't make sense to me. I mean, like, that was one of your best ECW guys, and you threw him off the team for this jagoff here. Anyway, the Hurricane gets tossed by the APA. Everybody loves the Hurricane. He just is. He's awesome. He's fun. Tess tosses Farouk.
yeah, how do you
Chuck
spell Farouk?
I don't fucking know.
FRAAQU something something something.
It was late. I took notes. This is what you got.
I mean, your notes, I can't tell if Tess eliminated Farouk or he eliminated Farquaad.
You got the idea of it. Anyway, Chuck Palumbo, who, for nobody that knows, was in, I believe this was the time of that weird, like,
Not yet.
not quite, but
No.
close.
A little bit after.
Okay. He throws out DDP. You want to talk about a mid-card guy tossing somebody of importance? DDP gets tossed by Palumbo.
I mean, DDP meant nothing in WWE, so
Clearly, as he's not on here.
I mean, granted, I'll give you he doesn't mean anything in WWE, but the WCW guys, he still mattered and he got shit on. Granted, also, he's like 50 years old at this point.
Billy Gunn tosses Chavo. And I think I only made mention of that because of who they are. And then Billy Gunn also tosses Taz as Taz is John to Heyman like a moron. Anybody that I swear ever in a battle royal takes time to stop being in the match to talk to anyone loses. Like, what are you doing? History would tell you have infinitely increased your chances of not winning by about 99%.
oh shit.
Unless you're standing in the middle of the ring, staring off into space. Hey, if you know, you know. Anyway, yeah, our final 5. Really fun final 5. Lance Storm, Billy Kidman, Billy Gunn, Bradshaw, and Test. Some decent talent there. Granted, we all know Test is going to win, but they at least made it seem like he might not. Bradshaw tosses Kidman, who we mentioned on a prior episode is criminally underrated. Test tosses Bradshaw and Storm while they're battling on the edge. And Billy Gunn looks like he's going to set up to steal the win. Like he is putting him for a finisher into an elimination, and Test says, fuck you, no, and sends his ass packing and wins.
Yeah.
That is our immunity battle royal. Test cannot get fired. Won't have a title.
For up to a year. For up to a year, can't get fired. Just sidebar, did the year thing end up mattering? No.
Okay.
But like, we move on to the backstage segments. And again, it's another Alliance member talking to one of the Authority members that they don't trust Stone Cold, blah, blah, blah. Same redundant interview over and over with different characters. Then we move on to the 6-pack women's championship match, which I find funny because there's only one women's championship. So if the Alliance would have win, would it become the WCW ECW women's championship? Don't know. We didn't have to find out. But it's Trish, Miss Jackie, Lita versus an Ivory, Molly Holly, and a debuting Jazz. Now, Jazz came from ECW. She is a bad bitch. She is the bitch. That's about all I knew of her. It's a decent match for what it is. A lot of talent, a lot of years in the ring. Trish being the most greenest person in the ring. And actually comes out with the win. I kind of forgot who won this match, to be honest with you, because when I saw Jazz debut, I'm like, well, I'm pretty sure I thought she won on her debut, but I guess she didn't.
Who
Trish
wants to
wins.
mention the post-match note? Who wants
Tr-
to be that lucky guy?
Trish wins the women's championship, and Jim Ross says that Trish comes in the back door for the win, and Heyman makes reference that wouldn't we all?
Paul Heyman, everybody.
So
Gold.
then we get this long, drawn out speech from Vince about how if you don't win,
you
guys are failures. You're pathetic.
You're
Nobody's gonna
disgracing
remember
the
you.
legacy of WWE
Blah,
superstar.
blah, blah, blah.
Okay,
blah, blah.
not for nothing. When he started mentioning everybody, like, oh, time out. What the fuck is The Rock doing? The whole fucking time.
He
Dude,
looks
gotta
like
stay
he
loose.
could give a fuck.
That too. I mean, think about this. This is Survivor Series winner takes all, and there is not one Rock promo in this entire pay-per-view. None. And he's the world heavyweight champion at this point. Well, sorry, he's the WCW world champion at this point. And he could give two fucking shits whether he's in this still or not. He's thinking Scorpion King's calling, I gotta go.
We get this thing done. Flight to Hollywood leaves in an hour after the fucking match.
I mean, he's not Hollywood yet, but he's pretty damn close at this point. Or he's already left once. He already did The Mummy Returns. That's why he leaves after WrestleMania 17 is to go do Mummy Returns.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, he's already thinking, guys, let's get this the fuck over with. I got a Hollywood agent waiting to meet me. But yeah, so on the Alliance side, it's Stone Cold, Kurt Angle, Booker T, Rob Van Dam, and Shane O'Mac versus The Rock, Chris Jericho, The Big Show, and the Brothers of Destruction. Which one of these teams is not like the other? It's kind of a long, drawn out match.
I mean, the only one that's the odd man out, because he's the actual WCW guy, is Booker. Everybody else is WWE.
Yes.
I mean, RVD is ECW at heart. I give him that.
But,
he is
I mean, we know
ECW, you know, blood and glory.
I mean, think about it though. If you were blind watching this match and I said, "Who's the final two?"
Yeah.
It's
Rock and
Austin.
Stone Cold. Yeah. 100%.
100%. 100% Rock and Austin. And that's what happens. The other ones get eliminated. I think Big Show's first or whatever, and it just goes on, blah. It's one of those Survivor Series matches that were just drawn out and very boring, very stagnant. It doesn't have a big fight. It doesn't have a winner take all feel to it. I don't know about you two, but that's what I got even watching it live. Like, I had no inkling in my mind whatsoever that WCW, ECW was winning tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
obviously, but I think it's kind of like how, Ryan, you took 1990s. Like, you were there for the gimmick.
And that's why we're doing this. It's fun to do it this way. We watch 90. I realized that I'm there for the gimmick. And I know we're totally shitting on your favorite Survivor Series.
That's fine. I still like it.
I can get the somewhat of a depression state on your face from it. But it's what it is. It's not winner takes all. It was already decided before this pay-per-view happened.
I would have liked to see what you proposed this a year later when everybody's done being paid off a Turner.
I've got a very good question for the end of the show pertaining to Survivor Series.
Anyhow, we get Rock and Austin last. They're fighting. Kurt Angle is the guy, the sixth guy. Comes in, Angle slams Austin, Rock pins him.
Forgot where he blasts him with the title.
The Rock is the guy. This is the funnier part. Again, I go back to it. No interview from The Rock, but The Rock is the one that theoretically saves the company by scoring the final pinfall. Kind of funny.
Has the big in-ring celebration. Might as well have thrown confetti.
But if I'm not mistaken, when he's celebrating, what championship does he have in his hand?
Yep, the
He has
WCW.
the WCW World Championship in
Dude,
his hand.
did you notice that was like that all night? The WWF guys had the WCW titles and the vice versa.
No, you
The
got
whole card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Elimination members had the wrong belt essentially.
Yeah.
Or
It's just,
elimination members.
but it makes sense. The Dudleys win. Now their job is saved because WWE wins. You don't have to do the whole thing with them. Trish wins the women's title. Edge is the U.S. champion. Test wins the immunity battle royal. Hey, he's not getting fired even though he lost his belt.
Edge is the Intercontinental champion.
Oh yeah, true. He's the Intercontinental champion. But I mean, overall, I mean, this pay-per-view, I could give it a 6 out of 10.
That's higher than I was expecting.
It's not one of my favorites. It's not one that I go back and watch. When I go through my Survivor Series rewatches, this is like the one I make sure that plays at like 2:00 in the morning so that I sleep through it. So it count. At least I watched the beginning, so at least counts that I watched it again.
Fucking hell, Ryan. But okay, so let's do this, Ryan. Take both teams. Stack them how you would stack it if it's a year later.
Or stack it all time.
No.
No, because that's
Okay,
been done so
fine.
many times.
I want stack it if it's a year later, the way you were saying.
So we're saying 2002 Survivor Series.
Let that be the winner take all match. After
All
you
right.
said give them SmackDown, Raw's on Monday.
Then that means Team WCW at this point would be Booker T because he'd still be. Why is my lips look bright red?
Kool-Aid.
Booker T would still be on Team WCW. 2002. You theoretically could put Hall and Nash on Team WCW.
Are you?
No, because they're out by Mania. So, or at least one half of those guys are. Rip.
Hey, yo.
I mean, theoretically, WrestleMania or the WCW side could be Ric Flair, Scott Steiner, Booker T. You could put Kevin Nash there. I mean, that's where I would go with it. No, I think DDP's. If it's a
are we
year from
assuming
now,
Steph and Shane are still in control?
Yeah.
So Hunter?
I would make it be. It would be Hunter, Shane, and Stephanie versus Vince. So having Nash on Team WCW with Hunter makes sense. I mean, you could keep RVD there as well. So yeah, how about this? You give me Booker T, Scott Steiner, Triple H, Kevin Nash, and Rob Van Dam versus. I mean, the top two on the WWF side look just fine to me. Give me Taker and Kane, and we're talking 2002. So get rid of the Big Show and give me Hulk Hogan on Team WWF. WWF 2002. By then, Rock is gone again.
Is HBK back?
No.
I thought he comes back at SummerSlam that year. And that's where he has the street fight with Triple H.
So yeah, Shawn would be back.
That would be pretty good to have Triple H on the other side, to have Shawn on WWE.
Yeah, I mean, you could put Shawn there and give me Stone Cold.
And who turns
Again,
on
but even with those teams the
who?
way it are, which one of these teams is not like the other? I'm still taking the WWF team.
I think Triple H is the one that turns.
I mean, theoretically on the WCW team, the other one that's missing, if you wanted to, you could take Hunter out of that situation, and it's Goldberg. So then it's Goldberg, Steiner, Nash, Booker, and RVD
Suddenly, they
versus
sound like winners.
Kane, Taker, Hogan, and then give me Hunter and Stone Cold,
When do we get Brock?
or give me Hunter and Shawn.
When do we get Brock?
We get Brock in 2002, but I wouldn't put Brock in this match because then you spoil the idea of Brock and Goldberg.
I just wonder with Heyman involved.
So keeping in mind of how 2001 actually went, who turns?
I have to think Hunter, right?
If Hunter's on WWE, he's going to turn on WWE?
No, I think it would be Nash. Let it be Nash on WCW side because
Okay,
that makes
sense.
It plays into
two members of the clique on the other side.
Yeah, well, it also plays into the Kevin Nash character. The only thing real about this business is the money and the miles. All it takes is for Vince to pay him off, and he's the one turning his back.
Who are the
Think
last
about
two?
If this team of 5 in WWE is Hogan, Triple H, and Shawn, and then Nash is the one that turns, then you have the Clique and the NWO together on the WWF side. That's pretty impressive.
Who are the last two?
Goldberg and Stone Cold.
Goldberg and Triple H. That way, there's the when Nash makes the turn, he's turning to help Triple H. Especially if you build this for weeks. If you build this for weeks,
well, you would have built this for the last year.
Well, no, if just independently, if you would have built this for like a month or two leading up, Nash and Hunter fighting each other or arguing with each other or just not even interacting like physically, but just fighting with each other verbally, that they're not getting along. And then you have Nash turn on Goldberg, which already wins in my book. And you just have Nash smile at Hunter and they hug and Hunter hits him with the pedigree and pins him. And then you're off to the races with both Triple H and Nash being heels on the new WWF, with Shawn going, what the fuck was that all about? So does Shawn join his two buddies, or does the Clique? I always thought it would be cool if the WWF would have done the Clique. If they would have made that an actual stable, even in the 2000s, would have been fucking amazing to have them as their own faction. Fuck Evolution. Evolution didn't need to happen if the Clique was a group. And I think that would have been the time.
I want that big time. I want that now.
Yeah. Think about it. If you have Shawn,
you still put X-Pac in it too.
Well, yeah. If you think about it, if you have Hunter and Nash playing heels, and all of a sudden they're like, Shawn doesn't know which side to take because he's the born again Christian again, so he doesn't know what side to take of it. But like every week, Shawn has a match somewhere or another. Hunter or Nash interferes and helps him win without his consent to help. And just keeps egging that on until Shawn gets a world championship match or an intercontinental championship match. And they go to help him and he stops them and says, no, I got this. And then turns around and super kicks the other guy. And then we're off to the races with the Clique as a heel faction is pretty fucking good in my opinion.
I would have loved to live in
my tangent.
WWE world.
Could we get like a series of Ryan playing WWE games and like booking shit this way? And I could
rebooking history.
No. Like,
I love that concept. See, I would do this on the video games, but there's one thing that I don't like. The video games gives me parameters I got to stay in and doesn't let me be the creative self that I want to be.
No, Ryan,
mods get away from that, can they? Maybe, hopefully.
I'm hoping so. I'll find out next game.
Also, I could also picture Ryan pausing it at certain points and doing the voiceover of characters.
No,
I just want to see Ryan be like at a point in history, be like, whoa, fuck that idea. Scratch that, new history.
I've always liked that. And you guys know this. That's like one of the things that I am way good at is I could take a story that started and figure out like what would be a payoff or what would be a better payoff than what they've done. But
I've got
maybe
one
we'll leave that.
Survivor Series
We'll
related
leave
question.
we'll leave that to another day, another topic, another title.
I would
Ryan,
like
Knowing
I would
the
like
gu-
that to be a game we play.
the
Rebook a
the
Paper-
guru, yeah, the guru rebooks. I like it.
But I have a
What's your
question,
survival?
Survivor Series related.
well, you better
Sure.
hurry up.
Now, mind you, obviously we're still covering mine next. So there is that. But without living in the moment and without taking in what is, and War Games is an acceptable answer, what is your favorite Survivor Series actual gimmick match? Like, what is the one? Not the whole pay per view, not like just what is it? Do you like the War Games? Do you like the 5-on-5 and who's in it?
SmackDown versus Raw 5-on-5.
Because we've covered yours now, AJ, and we're all like, great idea. They fumbled it. We covered Fries, and it's like maybe it wasn't as good as it was. I already know mine's gonna be like, yeah, whatever.
My favorite Survivor Series match in general, period, 100%, is the Mega Powers versus the Mega Dollar Team. It's Hogan and Savage and Hillbilly Jim and Coco Beware against, or no, I'm sorry, not the Mega Bucks. It's the Twin Towers. It's Hogan and Savage and their team versus Bossman, Hakeem, Haku, and Red Rooster. That's always been one of my absolute favorites. The other one for me is Luger. It was supposed to be Tatanka. It ends up being the Undertaker and the Steiner brothers versus Yokozuna, Crush. I can't remember if it's Jacques. I think it's Jacques of the Quebecers, and it was supposed to be his tag partner, but his tag partner got taken out as well, and it ended up being Ludwig Borga, which was right in the time period of WWF where basically the wheels were falling off. There wasn't any money. They were running high school gyms. Nobody was watching. It was like 1994. That's always been the two that are my favorite ones to watch. War Games. You can't go wrong with anything in the 80s for War Games. Don't watch any of the last 5 years of War Games, including the NXT ones. The old school War Games with the Horsemen versus Dusty and the Power Team and all that stuff. They're the fun ones to watch because they get nice and bloody.
I mean, I didn't mind the one with the Undisputed Era in NXT. I thought that was pretty good. But
I don't care for the NXT War Games or the WWE War Games, as they say. I've had this conversation with TJ. I don't like that there's no roof. That kind of eliminates the idea of War Games for me. But I am waiting for someone to use that rule to fuck over their team. Because the rule is if you escape the cage, you forfeit for your team. I am waiting. I am waiting for somebody to do that. I think, I mean, I don't know what the whole story is going to be, but last year with the bloodline,
Sammy.
if you would have had Sami Zayn on the top of that cage getting ready to jump off on somebody, and he just shakes his head no and crawls down the cage and forfeits for the bloodline, talk about huge.
Well, say the Usos are holding KO. We speed that whole thing up like a little bit, and the Usos are holding KO, and Sammy's got to jump onto KO, and he says nope and heads out, and they lose.
Yep, it would have been fantastic. So I'm waiting for that to happen. I'm knowing Hunter. I feel like that's going to happen soon enough.
I kind of wish we had War Games, but you can't make a pinfall or submission till everybody gets in there. Once everybody's in there doing all their shit, then it's elimination instead of just one and done.
Yeah.
The problem with War,
cool.
The one thing they have done with the newer War Games that makes a little bit better is now you can score a pinfall. Before it was War Games didn't start till everybody was in the ring, and then it was by submission or surrender. kind of takes the dramatic effect out of it when it's you can't hear the guy submit. Nowadays you can see him tap out, but still, so doing the pinfall works. But I digress. The War Games is still it's still like one of the best gimmicks in my
I feel
opinion.
like they're ruining it doing it every year.
Yeah, it
No,
should be
because
every couple.
think about it. In the 80s, it was every week. It was every night. They would do a Great American Bash tour on the East Coast, and it was War Games every single night. Then they would get a break, and they would go down south and do it, and it was War Games every single night.
Yeah, but it's like having a Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. Means nothing when you have a whole pay-per-view full of it.
Which is why we don't get it anymore.
But you get what I'm saying, though.
I would like it if they keep it, if they do one War Games match for Survivor Series, or two, because you got to do a men's and a women. Otherwise, it's not really fair.
Did we have a women's one last year?
I don't think we've had one yet, have we?
For
I don't think
NXT, NXT had women's ones all the time.
Not
I
a
don't
main
even remember.
roster.
I don't even remember what last year's was.
Sammy and
The
the
Bloodline.
Bloodline.
Yeah, so no, we had a women's one. It was the opening contest. The Bloodline closed it. The women's one opened it.
What the hell was the women's?
Probably Rhea and them. We'll go back and look, but I'm pretty sure there was a women's one.
Oh yeah, because Rhea ends up misted, doesn't
Yes.
she?
Yes.
That is
But-
right. They did have it.
But guys,
I would like AJ's idea though. Mix War Games with the actual Survivor Series. Don't let them get eliminated till they're all in, and then have them actually get eliminated.
Yeah. It
I
gives them
like
that
that.
option to be able to escape the cage because when the door opens, they can sneak out.
also let them go shopping on the way to the ring.
They should already be there.
Oh, they should already be in the ring? Yeah.
Wouldn't it be cool if they made it where the top of the cage came down when it was over with? Or when the War Games started, the cage closed and they all your fun trinkets were hanging off of the roof of the cage.
I feel like Jericho did something with that with the steel cage and Dean Ambrose.
That was Teens Asylum, whatever.
All right, guys, do you have anything else to throw in here before we close up shop and get ready to go racing?
Nope. Plug your stuff.
Inception. Oh, yeah, shit. Only about an hour 3 into the damn thing. Plugging shit. Go over to the Nerds, I guess, All-Star 15 TV's Streamlabs store. A lot of the stuff is going to be going on sale for Black Friday. Go check that out. I'm going to keep the pink stuff up there for breast cancer. Just had a nice purchase for one. Wasn't me. Was our wonderful guest last week for the Nerds Do Nerd Things podcast, talking to Mike McCarroll, Highlander VO on Twitch. Go check that out. It was a fun interview. But go check out our store. Some of the stuff is going to be going on sale. But guys, anything else?
Hey TJ, wake up. You don't sleep through our broadcast. You do it for the other broadcast.
I wasn't even actually sleeping. That was just a joke. AJ, what was with this? Were you?
He
rubbing
rubbed
your
his nipples.
No, I was trying
Okay.
to figure out what side the
Okay,
because
I
it's
was like, why-
reversed.
what are we doing here?
Because
Like,
it's reversed.
I mean, you were talking about saving the Tatas. I'm just saying.
But guys, we'll see next week. TJ, which one are we covering?
I don't even know the year anymore.
2014.
Sure, that one. Survivor Series.
It's very
Covering
special because we get a WCW.
We get a member that should have been in this match. Okay, bye.
All right. Bye, everybody. We'll see you next week.
From Mordor to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.